Good morning, believers. Good evening, afternoon. Woo woo. We got some wicked clouds going on. Something going on right there. See right in the middle. Who is that? Is that Jesus? Kind of looks like him right there. The clouds have stories in them. No music. This one's no music. Some of these lessons, believers, some of these lessons, I know a lot of you were like, what does that mean? And see, I could speculate, being that I am of the reason this lesson comes out, because it has to do with me. And so I'm going to just jump into it and see if some of you can, I don't know, if I say it and it sinks into you, then it's probably going to, maybe something's going to sink into me. But there's all this talk. Heavenly Father, bless the message. Give me the strength and the will and the power to get this message out correctly and to edify myself and my brothers and sisters. We love you, we honor you, we praise you, and we come before you with a humble, contrite spirit, knowing that you have good for us and a fruitful, abundant future, not wicked and evil plan for us. Amen. So I was going to go into the idea of a righteous kill, because I'm sure some of you are going, that's not very Christian, a righteous kill. Well, I explained to you that as a Benjamite and as Adonijah, Solomon put Adonijah to death. And let me see if I can find it real quick. Let's see here. It should be right here in Chronicles. I went back to David builds an altar. I'm not going to go there. I'm just going to tell you the story because it's true. It's in the Bible. You can find it yourself. Adonijah, the Lord told me I was Adonijah, and he said, I looked it up, and it comes to find out Adonijah was killed by Solomon. And so when I speak of righteous kill, I'm not just flapping my gums because, oh yeah, it's okay to murder, or it's okay to... I'm not talking about murder. I'm talking about a righteous kill. Which means it was in God's will for me to be put to death. It's a lesson that's playing out right now in your ears, so that you can understand that your God is sovereign. Your God, my God, if you believe in the God of the Bible, He is going to do what He's going to do, and He's going to make you do what you got to do. He's going to make me do what I got to do. And if it comes down to it, and probably the biggest example of that is when Abraham takes Isaac up to Mount Moriah, and the Lord told him, take your son and Sacrifice him. These are hard biblical truths, people. These are things that people are like, no, he's a loving God. He would never do that. These are the steps you take to get to know your Creator. Abraham had the knife raised. He had his hand on Isaac's neck. And the Lord held his hand up and didn't let him kill him. It was going to be, the Lord wanted to see if homeboy Abraham was loyal. It's funny because I'm looking at these women. Just let me sidebar a minute. I thought they were married to these guys. These two women. Something about their energy is really beautiful, and I don't know why that is. It's like they're not insanely pretty or anything like that, but I guess because they have smiles on their face, they look really I don't know, they keep looking back at something. I don't know what they're looking at. I thought it was because they were married, but anyway, back to what we were saying. Abraham was going to kill his son. So I've talked about this story before in Judges where let me go to it so you can kind of get an idea of what's going on here. So there was this concubine, this Levite had a concubine, and I don't know how this ties in, but the Lord just kind of brought these two things together for me. There's depth of Bible here that most people will go, is it a stretch? It's not so much a stretch. It's something that he's showing me that I'm bringing to you so that maybe I can understand it better. It's not for all of you. Some of you kind of get it because you have a spiritual depth of knowledge. The Lord has given you a vision. He's given you He's revealed it to you. So anyway, in the book of Judges, there's a story about a Levite and his concubine, and it took me a long time to put it all together because it's actually a long story. And if you read the Bible, like I do a lot of times, I open to wherever I'm at and I get the message from whatever page I'm on. And so a lot of my reading hasn't been, it took me a long time for the Lord to make me realize there's stories here that connect to other stories. And that's the beauty of the Bible. Like I was talking about earlier, a lot of people don't believe the New Testament and the Old Testament are integrated, but they are. And that's where these Old Testament, there's one guy I listen to, and I understand where he's coming from. He's a Negro, and he's an Old Testament law keeper guy, but he doesn't believe in Jesus Christ. He believes in Yahuwah, Yahweh and the Old Testament. And it's kind of, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to, let me just do my study. Let's not talk about other people. It gets to be irritating to hear it, but you don't need to hear my irritation. So this concubine, let me read about her. A Levite's concubine. And it came to pass in those days, this is Judges 19, this is what caused the war between Benjamin and the rest of Israel. And it came to pass in those days, when there was no king in Israel, that there was a certain Levite sojourning on the side of the Mount Ephraim, who took to him a concubine out of Bethlehem, Judah. So when you hear of Bethlehem, Judah, that's my people. That's Judah, Benjamin. Bethlehem was where the Lord was born. That's where Benjamin was born. That's where David was born. Bethlehem, Judah is Judah, Benjamin. It's the land of Bethlehem, Ephrata. So know that this is a very holy area, right? Bethlehem, Ephrata, Bethlehem, Judah. And his concubine played the whore against him and went away from him unto her father's house to Bethlehem, Judah, and was there 4 whole months. So we know 4 is the number of grace, acceptance, it's mercy. There's a lot of different, I'm not completely versed on the numbers. I know some of the numbers. I'm just learning about the number 4 is has something to do with mercy and grace, right? And her husband arose and went after her to speak friendly unto her and bring her again, having a servant with him and a couple of asses, and she brought him into his father's house. And when the father and the damsel saw him, he rejoiced to meet him. So what happens is he goes to get his whorebag concubine from her father's house in Bethlehem, Ephrata, or Judah, Benjamin, or Bethlehem, Judah. These are my people, right? And she comes out of that area, and what he does is he goes to the father's house, and the father makes him stay there, and they party and they whoop it up, and there's probably some weirdness going on. The father doesn't want the daughter to leave because the daughter's taking care of him, and the Levite's going, no, I really got to take my bitch back, and she's my bitch, she's my concubine, she's my woman. So when I say bitch, I don't mean anything other than women will, without guidance, without severe discipline, and without someone to rule over them, they will turn into all kinds of different monsters. And that's what this story's about. And for you women, it's nothing against you. I'm just saying this is biblical. This is what we see happen with women. So what happens is as he's going home, he ends up in Ramah. This is Benjamite territory. It says, and they passed and went their way, and the sun went down upon them when they were in Gibeah, which belongs to Benjamin. And they turned aside hither to go to lodge in Gibeah, which is in Benjamin. If you go back to Joshua, Ramah and Gibeah were cities of Benjamin. Let's see. I could get that. I just had it. But I'm not gonna just jump all around to prove what I already know. I'm gonna tell you this is how it is. So, these men of Benjamin, when he comes through and he rests in Ramah, he has no place to stay. And it says, behold, there came the man out of the field, and he sees this Benjamite, this Levite, with his concubine, and he says, come lodge with me. And what happens, these men of Benjamin, now they were making merry. This is Judges now. Their hearts were merry, and they were having fun. And the men of the city, certain sons of Belial, beset the house round about. These were men of Benjamin. They said, bring forth the man that came into thy house, that we may know him. And the man, the master of the house, went out and said unto them, nay, my brethren, my brothers, don't do this. So they wanted the man. They wanted to have sex with the man. They wanted to sodomize this Levite. Why did they want to sodomize this Levite? Because he probably shouldn't have went after this whore bitch. this concubine. He should have known better. You know what? Let her go. She's gone. She's gone. She's gone. Bob Marley talks about it in the song, She's Gone. My woman is gone. She's gone. She's gone. If you see me crying, that's all right. The woman's gone. No woman, no cry. Let her go. No woman, no cry. I'm going through this myself. So, what happens is, he gives them the concubine. He said, behold, this is the man in the house. Behold, here's my daughter, a maiden, and his concubine. Them I will bring out. You do whatever you want to them. So they took the concubine and they raped her and they literally boned her to death. And when the woman in the dawning of the day fell down at the door of the man's house where her Lord was till it was light, and her Lord rose up in the morning and opened the doors of the house and went out to go, and behold, the woman, his concubine, was fallen down at the door of the house, and her hands were upon the threshold. She was dead. She was dead at the door, entrance of the door, right? So what happens is this Levite, he takes the concubine back to Bethlehem, or back to Ephraim, where he lived, and he cut her up and he sent her to a piece of her body to each tribe. And it caused a civil war. He was the cause of Israel rising up against Benjamin. And it says, I took my concubine and cut her in pieces and sent her throughout the country of the inheritance of Israel, for they have committed lewdness and folly in Israel. Behold, you are all children of Israel. Give here your advice and counsel. So he's asking them, this is what happened. You Israelites need to figure out what the hell you're going to do. And what did they do? I'll tell you what they did. Instead of going, what's the story with this concubine? What were you doing in Gibeah? What were you doing in Ramah, where these Benjamites live? Why were you there? What house were you in? Finding out the gist of the story. Where'd you come from? What happened in the days prior? And if they would have asked, who is this woman that got killed? She's my concubine that was playing the whore. All this could have been put to pass, but what happens? And all the people arose as one man saying, we will not go any of us to our tent, neither will any of us turn to his house. But now this shall be the thing which we will do in Gibeah. We will go up by lot against it. Right off the bat, they're like, oh, let's go fight. Let's go cause trouble. Let's go against the men of Benjamin. That rape, that killing, that was a righteous killing. The men of Benjamin were acting the will of the Lord, sorry. And I know a lot of you don't want to hear this. I know you're like, is he saying God wanted them to kill her? Yes. That's why she ended up dead. The men of Benjamin were there designed to make that Levite understand, she's not yours, dude. If she was yours, she would have submitted to you. She's not a godly person. You're a Levite, you don't know that? And so these are lessons to me, people. I've been with women that weren't godly. I've been with women. I haven't, and I know a woman that cares about me very much right now, and I'm not attracted to her. I should probably go apologize and make her my woman, because she'd probably do what I say. She'd be a good wife, concubine, whatever. I probably wouldn't marry her, but I'd make her my concubine and put her under me or whatever, right? I know some of you women don't like to hear this. I know some of you men are going, wow. But these are the things that, for my spirit, I'm teaching you something about my spirit. I need to be stronger with these women and be stronger in my belief. Otherwise, the Lord's going to go, you let those Jezebels ruin you. Should have walked away. And that's the story right here. So let me see what I got. I got 5 minutes. I don't think I can get it. So then it turns into a big battle, and Benjamin gets destroyed pretty much. Benjamin gets made into that least of the tribes of Israel. And so when you think of the least of the tribes, that's where Jesus came out of, the smallest of the tribes of Benjamin, Ephraim, Judah, Benjamin, Bethlehem, Ephrata, Ramah, Gibeah. And so I have a point to make about that, and it's right here in, this was weird because the Lord led me to this. And I'm just going to probably, let me see what I got. Shit, 5 minutes? This is where David, Satan numbered Israel. And there's something very interesting about this, and the Lord said, do a lesson on it. Maybe someone can understand it. I'm trying to understand it, but it's a process for all of us. And so what happened in Chronicles, David, things were going good for David. Right after he killed Goliath, man of great stature. Oh, Jesus. We'll go into this. There's some good stuff here. I'll be back. We'll go into this thing about the giants. Any of you who have been with me for a while know this Nephilim, the translations aren't correct, and we've fallen into this. And you'll see videos, the giants, they found giants here, they found giants there, they found these giant people. There's no proof that there was giants ever, anywhere, anytime. There's no proof whatsoever. It's all nonsense. It's all lies. It's hyperbole. It's folly. There's no such thing as 10-foot high people. I mean, if there are, it's an anomaly, and there's not like a family of giants. It wasn't the Nephilim. It wasn't any of that funky ass shit that these people talk about. So, that being said, I'll be back. We'll talk about this Benjamin. I've gone over it before. It's not easy to just go to all the scriptures, but if you've been with me for a while, you know Benjamin and the priests and the Levites were very close because they were in the temple, and a lot of the Benjamites were servants, they were porters, they were singers, they were close to the Levites, they were close to the servants of the Lord. And I'm not going to argue with anyone about that. You'd have to read it yourself. These are things that I know that either you want to know about or you don't want to know about, but as I dig in more, I find new things about this, and this is going to be an interesting one. So come back and we'll talk a little bit about this Benjamin Levi connection. JD Nigel, Word of Truth. I'll be back.